daddy equals simp. Interesting. A young woman is saying that. Very interesting. Shout out to Cassian, says, seeing beyond the arguments, misunderstanding, and mistakes is realizing perfection does not exist in relationships. Their beauty is in the efforts to stay united as a couple. Shout out to Mary Collins. 77% of black women have children out of wedlock by 24 years old. Black men have been left with very slim pickings for black men. Black women, I'm assuming saying, what about the disrespect black women give to the stepdaddy? Interesting. Shout out to High Quality Women, one of our very own initiatives. She's added at least over a year with that purple badge. Shout out to you.
There you go.
Anton has a cute, privileged perspective. Anton has a cute, privileged perspective, I think she's saying. He speaks from an ideal utopian world that doesn't exist. Single moms need to pursue God, self-actualize, and get educated on how to peacefully coexist with men. Man, y'all are really supporting the channel right now on the platform. So shout out to NBA going crazy. And that's no Dusty Bums Allowed, just in case you didn't know, okay, which I support. And shout out to big Bag Chasers, which I also support because I'm a bag chaser myself. Shout out to Silent Sniper says, well, since Yada believes that childless men should date women with kids, how about he addresses the lack of respect those women have for stepfathers? That damn accountability. Shout out to Chantel Jones, one of our lovely initiates, says, I really wish Harley Initiated would stop giving Anton a platform. His views are biased and based on his own experiences, non-compassionate, not considering human error and redemption, and erroneous as you know what. Shout out to Practitioner Her, another one of the initiates. Ain't no debate if he gonna deflect like a man with concepts of a plan. Are you not entertained? Y'all are going nuts.
Make sure we go over 10 because it's going crazy.
It's all over 10.
Wow.
Shout out to Zayda. We have to increase it.
We're gonna have
Shout out to Zayda's Nintendo. These women choose those men when they see red flags. They say that's her fault. All of us men get blamed for actions of those few guys. They opened their legs, no protection. She chose to be pregnant free will. Shout out to AR Smith. That boy Yada throwing the Hail Mary. I'm gonna do two more. Shout out to Word Customs. Always using extremes to move goalposts. How many of us know women who purposely got pregnant by a bad guy who ain't want a baby and think she can change him, then want to be victim? Nope. Accountability. Last one, guys, from Initiate. Shout out to this thing glitching. Shout out to Erica Denise. Ryan, your face is so intense when you're listening to the responses. You be so into it. I am into it. This is riveting.
And I'm gonna tell you conversation. One thing about Harley Initiative, we're not gonna lean away from no tough conversations. In fact, I want to make sure our platform is the platform to galvanize and bring together the brothers so we can have the toughest platforms. I actually want to thank both of you brothers for coming from different sides of the world, different places, and sitting here together as men and having these conversations, bringing all of our followers, our listeners into one environment and having hard conversations, because I believe, honestly, if we did this at home in our families, had the hard conversations in our own kitchens and dining rooms, we'll probably be in a better situation as it is. So if we ain't doing it in the dining rooms of your house, we're going to do it in the dining room of the damn Harley Initiative Studios. So this is where we at right now. We're moving into round 4 of the conversation, and we're about to get it. We got Yada in the building. Absolutely. And we also got my brother Anton in here. And let's go ahead and get into round 4. This one here is a this one here also trigger. This whole conversation is a trigger one, to be honest with you. Right. Because we had a situation a few episodes ago. I had my brother Anthony O'Neill on. I had my brother Wall Street Trapper on. There was a sister who claimed that brothers over 40 and single were actually red flags. The interesting thing is, a lot of the culture actually says the same about the ladies. We didn't talk about the ladies, but I want to bring that here to this conversation. Because who we started with last? Did we start with my man Yada last round?
We started with Anton and ended with Yada last round.
So we're going back to Anton. Because here we go, Anton. Would you say it is a red flag if a woman is, let's say, 35 plus and single? Is that a red flag?
I don't think that that's a red flag. I don't think that a lot of things that society and the culture says is red flags is a red flag. I don't think that a woman that don't have children by 40 is a red flag. Right? I just think that, again, I don't think that we're a monolith. I think that everybody is different. Their circumstances determine what their decisions are going to be, and then ultimately what their outcomes are. A woman that's over 35 and single, that's it? No, I don't think that that's a red flag at all. I mean, if she's single with children, then I think that that's a red flag, because then you have to start adding context. Well, why do you break up with the person that you was with? And how many children do you have? And how many different baby fathers do you have? And all of that. But a woman that's 35 and single, she could have just been intentional, right? She could have just been focused on, her career, or, taking care of somebody that was at home, or, a lot of times it's a lot of men and women that are playing son husband or son, wife to parents that then had children to take care of them, which was selfish on the parents' part. But that woman could be responsible for that parent in that way, and she could have taken on that burden, which is not her fault, and she shouldn't have to take on that burden. But I think that it's nuance and it's context. So I don't personally look at a woman over 35 that's single, and that's just the criteria alone as a red flag. And let me also say this before you go. I think that we all have red flags.
Right.
Some of them bigger than others. right? Some of us have some things that we have to work on. It's a lifetime of work that we're doing, and we're evolving as we go. You're not going to be the same person at 20 as you were at 30. You're going to be a different person at 40 than you were, at 30, and so on and so forth. And so I think that everybody has red flags, green flags, and so on. The conversation I think that we miss is, what are you willing to live with and work with? Because we're looking for this ideal person. We'll say, okay, well, they have to make this amount of money, or they have to be this far in their career, or they have to be a Greek, or they have to be in a fraternity or a sorority, and all of these different criteria. But we're not looking at the thing that you're willing to work through, because the thing that determines whether or not you're going to stay together is the problems, not the things that you like about the person. The things that you're willing to endure through when they're growing and evolving past that point. Even when it comes to financially, again, I spoke a lot on younger people, 20, 21, 22 years old. You may be looking at a guy that has all of the things that you want in life financially, and he may be 30, 40, right? He may be 40, 50. And you don't want to endure with this guy that ultimately is going to get there. And he has your best interest at heart. He has better character. He actually believes in God, right? And we see a lot of women walk away from that for the glitz and the glam and for the highlights. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think that that's a red flag on him. I just think that that's a growth opportunity, but she don't want to be with that guy. Because the culture that we live in is saying to go with the guy that got all the money instead of going with the guy that actually has the better interest in you, that ultimately is going to translate to the best situation for the both of you. So I don't look at a woman over 35 alone as just a red flag. I don't do that.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that question, brother?
I agree completely with the brother. The only thing that I disagree with is him saying if the woman is over the age of 35 with children. You know, some women have given men their youth and been married 20 plus years, and the relationship just didn't work. I mean, they parted ways, some peacefully, some toxic. But I believe that woman is in a place of healing. So I think all women, regardless of their age, if they're single and working on themselves, I don't see that's a red flag. And like my brother said, I believe that we all have red flags, and we should really get with people that can deal with that red flag.
There you have it. Honestly, man, again, I think a lot of overlay and overlap. And it's interesting because I know you brothers very well as far as your content and what you speak about. And although you guys have a lot of differences, there is a lot of overlap in your perspective, which is very interesting. But that's why I'm happy that we was able to get some nuance here in this conversation. What I actually want to do here, because we always like to get
before you end, I want to say this to Antoine, brother. Thank you.
No, thank you
for coming here, man, and being respectful. You're a funny guy. you're a funny guy, but man, you came here, man. You brother's very intelligent. You articulate yourself very well, man. I'm blessed to have you as my brother, even though I might not agree with everything. I am blessed to have you as my brother, and this is my little brother, man.
No, but let me also say that I do appreciate him, right? I do appreciate you, and that I actually see value. Of course, we don't, acknowledge the stuff that we do, right? But I see value in engaging in conversations, respectful dialogue with people that may have a difference in opinion. And I think that a lot of times people want to see people in an echo chamber, but I don't think that there's any growth in that, because there are some things that he said that I'm going to take into consideration and evaluate and say, you know what? Did he have something there that I kind of overlooked? And so I see value in you. I see value in your conversation. I think that you are a blessing to the culture, especially as an example of how it is that you guide over your family. And so I have a lot of respect for you, even though we may disagree and we don't have some dialogue. We entertaining for the people and stuff, but I do respect you and I do have a lot.
Hey, I have to add this too. I watched a few videos last night of this brother. I have to say, this is the first time I've seen this brother so respectful, and I believe. hold on. But I believe that it is because he was also given respect.
Absolutely.
And that's a fact. And I also believe it has something to do with it's just some kind of Holy Spirit. It's a Holy Spirit. It's only in the studio. So it's something about the studio that does that. But I appreciate y'all coming. In fact,
we're not done.
Y'all listen. I understand we get the closing statements going. If you're familiar with Hardly Initiated, you know we always get the family involved in the conversation. But I understand that this was a passionate conversation, and you gonna come up here and try to give me your narrative and life story. So I'm gonna challenge you, because I'm gonna want the family to be brief and brilliant. Please, Lionel, go ahead and drop the link in the chat for people to come backstage.
Link in the chat and link in the description right now.
What we're gonna do, I'm gonna only give you 30 seconds, all right? So we're gonna make this fun. 30 seconds. I wanna hear who you think won tonight and why. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, just so we can spread it out, we're gonna bring a few ladies up, we're gonna bring a few guys up. So I want you to come backstage and let us know what your thoughts on this.